Okay, so as you guys probably already know, which if you don't, I don't know how that's possible, but okay. Corona is everywhere right now. I don't know how it is in your country, but in my country, which is Czech Republic, everybody has to stay home, and if they go outside, they are obligated to wear a face mask, which is pretty great. So that's why my mom asked me to make some face masks for my family, and I was like, yeah, but I'm also gonna make it into a YouTube video because, I don't know, hopefully it will help some of you guys. And yeah, I'm gonna show you 3 ways on how to make a face mask. I read so many articles and watched so many videos on how to make a face mask, and it always was one of these 3 techniques. I don't know which one is the best. I never personally tried to sew a face mask, so I will try it, let you know how it works, how easy it is to sew, and then give you some feedback when we're done. And yeah. Some good tips that I came across in those articles and videos were that you should always make your face mask from like 100% cotton fabric. And then the second thing is that the face mask has to stay dry, because once it gets wet, like from your breathing, the bacteria and the virus can get through. So I would suggest making definitely more than just one. The more the merrier. I'm really bad at explaining things, so sorry. But yeah, all of that being said, I don't promise you that all of these techniques are 100% safe. I'm not a doctor. My grades for biology are not that great. Yeah, so I hope this helps you at least a bit. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so first I printed out my templates. The link for them is in my bio. I will start with this one. So I just took the fabric of my choice and I folded it in half just so I wouldn't have to cut it out multiple times. Then I placed the template on top of the fabric and I traced along the edges, leaving like a 1/2 centimeter seam allowance, but I'm not counting the little triangles. You need to trace the triangles exactly how they are on the template. So it should look like this. So then I just cut it out and I made one more layer because you need 3. So once you have 3 layers, you're just gonna fold them in half and sew along these little triangles. And once you have all of them done, you're gonna cut like 1 centimeter from the pocket layer, and then you're gonna like roll the edges up a bit and like sew a line across them so it would be like hemmed. Then we're gonna start sewing these pieces together. So basically I just place the first layer and the pocket right sides facing up, and then the last layer the right side facing down, and then I just pinned it and sewed along all the edges, which after I realized I wasn't supposed to do. You're supposed to leave one of the sides open so you could flip it inside out. So yeah, here you can see me laughing at myself because of how stupid I am. But anyway, then I just took my seam ripper and I seam ripped one of the sides open, and then I turned it inside out. Once it was turned inside out, I just closed one of the holes and I just kind of like flattened it with my hand so I wouldn't have to iron it. And then I sewed all along the lines again just to make the face mask a bit flatter. And then I took like 2 pieces of elastics and I kind of like sewed them into the edges. You can like see what I'm doing here. I kind of like folded them in. And yeah, then I was done. This is how it turned out. I think this face mask is actually really good. It has 3 layers, which is the most out of all of the masks that I will show you. Also, the one layer is the pocket where you could put another layer, which in total you will have 4 layers, which is a lot. It also doesn't have a seam going from your nose to your mouth, which is good. The only 2 things that I would change about this face mask is definitely the size. As you can see, the mask is way too big for my face, but I think it's just really individual. But if you have a tiny face, same as me, you can make the mask way smaller just by taking like 1 centimeter from each side of this little triangle, and it will make the mask way tighter. And then also, if I would do this face mask again, I would probably not use the elastics because they just, I don't know, they just, for me personally, they just don't work. So I would probably just like switch them up for some like normal shoelaces or something, because I tried this method with the other face mask that I will show you now and it just works way better, so yeah. Okay, moving on to the face mask number 2. For this one, we will use this template that is in my bio. I just traced it again 4 times on this fabric, and I also cut off like these side seams of the fabric because they looked really nice and I want to use them as like the tying strands thingies. I don't know how to call these. But anyway, yeah. Basically, we will put 2 of these little triangles together and we will sew along the curved edge. And Once that is done, we will just stick these two little rectangle looking thingies, the right sides together, and we will sew along the long sides. Once that it's done, we will just flip it inside out, and we will fold up these raw edges and just sew across them. And then I just used the side seams from earlier to make the like the holding strands, or I don't know how you call them, which basically two of them were already like pretty small, so I just sewed them on, and the other I just folded in half to make them smaller. And yeah, then I just sewed them on, and there you have it. This is how it looks. Honestly, this style of the face mask is the easiest to sew, also fits the best. So for me, I made like a bunch of these because it was my favorite method how to make the face mask. However, this mask has only 2 layers, plus has a seam going across your nose and your mouth, so the protection from the virus and the bacteria is not that great, but it's still something. And yeah, I just tied it again on top of my head and under my hair. And yeah, I have to say I really like these. I don't know, just looking at them makes me happy, sorry. Okay, then the last method, which was honestly my least favorite, but I'm just gonna show you anyway. I'm using this square template, so I just traced it, and you only need 2 layers, so I just cut 2 big squares, and you also need to have like these 2 little rectangles, so I just traced them again. These are too small, like trust me, you need to add like at least ½ centimeter. I would add like a centimeter from each side at least, because in the end I just had so much trouble because they were way too small. But anyway, I just took these 2 squares and I just put them the wrong sides facing out, and I just sewed along those 2 edges. Then I just turned it inside out and I just kind of like flattened it with my hand. And then I used the template again to cut where I needed to make the folds. And then I tried to fold it, which honestly took me like good 30 minutes to figure out. I would definitely recommend like trying to fold it first with the paper, because the paper helps because it has the lines, or you will figure it out after the first try, and I'm just really stupid. So yeah, anyway, once I figured it out, I just took it to the ironing board, and there I basically just ironed the fabric after each fold, and then I just sewed along the edges, so it looked like this. And then I took these 2 little rectangles that I cut out earlier, and I just folded the like the top and the bottom to fit the face mask. And here you can see how small they really are. Like, I probably should have cut them out again because I had so much trouble with them. Anyway, I just ironed the top and the bottom, and then I kind of like folded one side into the middle and just ironed it, and then the other side too. And then I just like folded it in half and ironed it so it would keep the shape. And I did the same thing with the other one as well. And I just tried to put the face mask in between like the fold of the rectangle, which was so hard because, as I said, the rectangle was so small. So I tried to sew it with a sewing machine, but it just didn't work. So I just ended up hand sewing it, which didn't really look that great, but I mean, from the far, nobody can really notice it, so it's fine. Then I just took these 2 red shoelaces that I found laying around the house, and I cut them into half. So I sewed them on, and yeah, this is how it turned out. Now all I see is honey. This face mask is pretty great. However, it was probably my least favorite way to sew the face mask. Just because, I don't know, I had so much trouble with the rectangles. Like, I didn't put it into this video because it would be too long, but it took me so long to like sew them on properly. And then I don't think it looks that great when it's on. Like, it's too big, which I could probably make it smaller, but I feel like the previous face mask would just like fit the face better. And also it has just 2 layers, which is not that great. It's the same amount as the last one. However, it's still something, so yeah. And I of course forgot to film the outro, so this is me saying goodbye to you. Hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, like it and share it so it could help more people. And yeah, stay positive, stay safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!